I have no idea what I'm going to do for my 1K sub video. I mean, I guess hide and seek. Wait, I hit 1,000? Hold on. Refresh. Yes! We're there. Thank you, whoever just subbed. Hey, I'm Matt with Schematical, and this is another episode of ChaosCraft. And I'm sorry for the delay. I had a lot of weird stuff go on this week, so it's kind of weird running this channel is that you can't really have like pre-planned content as easily because it's highly experimental and you never really know what's going to happen. So I spent a lot of time on settings and had a lot of weird stuff go down this week, so a little delayed. This is going to be a shorter video, but let's get to it. This video is going to be heavy for those people that want to create their own sim models or training rooms to run ChaosCraft with, so just be aware of that. There will be some footage of the end. I'm going to try and edit up the live stream, but it's going to be very heavy for those people that want to run their own bots, create their own neural nets. Keep that in mind as you guys watch this one. If you guys do like this, please check out my Patreon. That's what's paying the bills right now. I'm actually still paying more for the servers than we're making on Patreon, but we're getting closer. You guys are helping me out. I'd love to do this full time someday, so every little bit helps, okay? Link in the show notes or patreon.com/schematical. I'm going to kick it off with the showcase, which is pretty cool. We've got Overflow, and they're doing some pretty wild stuff, so let's jump right to that. So this is an interesting setup he's got where we've got a whole ton of bots that are, I think, attempting to replicate the same behaviors there. I'm actually not even sure. Okay, goal 2, mine oak logs. There we go. He's got them all in little cages. So interesting little concept here. Some of them are digging it looks like. Next, I'm going to show you guys some setting stuff. We figured out a way so you could decide what you want the bots to have in their inventory when you create your training room. So you could say, hey, this role starts with this, and you've got 4 slots. If you need more, let me know, and I'll add it later on. You also can choose which spawn block to have, which is really useful. I did a Twitch stream on this just the other day, so check that out. And I'll do a quick overview of the sim model UI just so you kind of get a feel for how that works for when you're creating your training rooms. Let's get down to settings. So if I go to one of my training rooms and I go to edit the roles, there are now these settings here that you guys can edit. Not all of them. You can't edit the min orgs per species, the max top org. Some of those are just set in stone right now. And the reason for that is that, I think I've said this a couple times, we're filling up the space. More people are training, which is awesome, and it's costing more, and it's filling up Redis faster, along with a couple other data stores, our Mongo data stores. So I've got to limit those. So I apologize, you can't edit those right now. If you're a patron and you want to go bigger with it, let me know. Message me in the patrons chat, and we can probably work around it. With that said, let's jump over to the sim model editor real quick. So what I did here is I added in a setting, training room role. So this is a setting specifically on the training room role, and eventually you'll be able to say, oh, just put the setting on the training room or setting somewhere else. And this is settings that the people that are training using your sim model, creating training rooms, using your sim model will be able to set. So for example, I wanted to set the spawn point ID. The default value is default. And if you want to set the inventory, then the value is inventory. So this is for programmers. If you're not a programmer, don't worry about this. Let's just hop over to one of the training rooms using the sim model, like hide and seek. So I'm going to go edit the roles again, hit roles, go hiders, and right there you can see I've got the spawn point ID, and they spawn at default. And I made it so they can have in their inventory slot 1, they have 16 dirt. And I still have all the other settings from the other bit. So those of you that aren't programmers that want to set up your own training stuff can now do it here. Let's look at the seekers. So I wanted to make it so the seekers spawn at only spawn points with the seeker ID. And they have a dragon egg, because that was who was on my Twitch stream. Someone shouted that one out. They start with 8 of those and some Minecraft planks. So that's how settings work. So notice how the spawn points, they all kind of spawn with their own types. So these guys were all Marios that spawned there, and then an Iron Man walked in. See, these guys are pretty dumb. You can see right there, this is default, which is where Mario spawns from. Again, all Marios. But over here, where the Iron Man is, the one Iron Man, are the Seeker spawn points. So you guys can now set your own spawn points if you want to have one role spawn at one location, another spawn at... or you could have them use the same spawn points. This is going to be an Iron Man one, I'm pretty sure. Yep, oh, there we go. And they're all just wandering into each other. Let's check out their inventories to make sure that they've got what we want. So here I'm going to go start observing. I'm going to hit O again. I'm going to go observation options, display inventory, save, And you can see up here that this hider has 16 dirt, which I hope they will learn to barricade themselves in with. And this seeker here has the dragon egg. Interesting enough, they don't have the wooden planks. I guess there's a bug. I'll look into it. Another thing I snuck in recently in one of the previous releases is the ability to visualize scores with charts.js. I'm gonna use cold brace because clearly I don't have anyone that works, and it tells you the difference. You can see the top average score. So that's at the top 5, the generation average, that's across all of the species that spawned up to that generation. And the top max score, which is 26. You can see that he's got that 26 is just holding them up there the whole time. So we've got that. We also, this isn't as fancy, but we have the ability to delete stuff. I don't think I'm using roles test anymore, really. There's a fancy delete button now that you can delete roles and training rooms with. So if you're not using it, go ahead and delete it, and it'll delete everything associated with that room, so be careful with that. So that's how the settings work and the sim model works. We also hit 1K, which is pretty cool. Yeah. So for the 1K, figured I'd do a reveal, a watercolor reveal. Partner acrobatics. Another watercolor I did just to calm my nerves this week. So just random fun stuff I've been working on to get my head straight, but sorry for the delay. I am still hammering it out. Just needed to take a little breather. But thank you guys all for helping me get to 1,000 subs. All the core people that have been helping out. You guys are great. Thanks to my mods, thanks to my Patreons, thanks to every single one of you guys that watches this video. I really appreciate it. You guys are all amazing. I hope you're all staying strong right now. Well, things are getting crazy. I'm gonna keep hammering out this stuff and trying to build more features for you guys, while at the same time trying to build more experiments that are interesting to watch on camera, more interesting than this video. Stay tuned, we're getting there. Just takes time. Cheers. This guy's got a score of 3 and he's a hider. So what the fitness function does is it checks, I think I made it 20 blocks around it, 20 blocks by 20 blocks around it. We check the seekers to see if they see any of the bots, and it tags them as visible if they are indeed visible. And what you're going to notice is their movement patterns are going to be a little weird now, because I actually made it so they can have raw output as well as the action buffer stuff. So that's good. So if they have, right now, if they have a raw output, they're going to use the raw output. And I'm not sure I want to keep it that way. Maybe if they don't have an action, then they use the raw output, something of that nature. But it's something we'll play with as time goes on. So this is a seeker, 15 points right now. And I don't think they're that intelligent, by the way. Yeah, I mean, honestly, these guys are Gen 1. So and since they're not using the action stuff as heavily, it's going to take them longer to get there. I am glad I got the raw output going. This guy's scoring like crazy here. It could just be complete luck. I mean, there are also so many of them that I need to drop back those numbers. Here, let's take a look at the neural nets here. This guy's just all tied to the biased input. What's this? Light input? Yeah, well, he's got one thing tied to the light, which is the change pitch output. So kind of a useless neural net. We're using ChaosCraft teams, and we still got health change. I don't think we really need like half of these, but we've got our bias input, and we've got our is looking at entity, is looking at block, and then we also have this information is looking at entity, team, ally, state. And I think ally is spelled wrong, but first thing I think I need to do is just down the total number of orgs in here, and I have a setting for it. I'm going to manually change it on the back end. We're going to down it to 5 temporarily just for this stream here, which is going to slow down our progress, but it should be a little less anarchy in there. I also want to pull out some of these neurons still. All right, are they back in here moving around right now? All right, so they're all spawning out of everywhere. The person dev just joined, that's TNT. If you're a Patreon, if you're on Patreon, for some of the tiers, you can hop on here with me and build stuff. Hey, there you are. Ooh, what just happened? Where is everybody? Network info. Hider Seekers 5, yeah, good. Finished report. Well, they finished reporting. Why are they not ticking in new ones? There we go. We've got some orgs. They're fairly active, walking sideways as per usual. What we're going to do is we're going to make it so instead of drawing the scan area, which honestly right now is, well, the scan area is still used for target selection, so they can select the target and factor that in. So they just don't do actions right now. So we're going to do this. We're going to change this to debug scan instance. Oh wait, that's literally what it says. I am an idiot. I'll put this back in observer mode so we can see the scores there. So this is a hider. He was doing well, and then he died. Come on, here we go. Someone who observed. Okay. Wow. Okay, something's really off with my math there. Oh, stop observing. No, wait. I was wrong. Aha, look at that. So that is what it has to see. Now, what I need to do is make it so in the preset neurons, I can easily just add all relative neurons that have like a specific block type or whatever, because that would speed this up quite a bit. I can add a neuron real quick here. Is seen by opponent. So I want to just double check this guy's score, because this guy should not be scoring right now. Yeah, he hid successfully for 1 second before Iron Man came in here and just spotted him up. Bias and light. Yeah, we got to add some preset neurons in there. So let's take a look at the preset neuron screen. That's interesting the way it renders when you're in the mode, but that makes sense kind of, because it's being drawn right from where your eye location is. We could probably do something besides type like is salad and have default neurons there, so that could be useful. I forget why I came back over here. Totally am spacing out now, sorry. What was I gonna add? They're kind of dumb hiders and seekers. We're Gen 0 still. What the heck was I about to do? That's right, I'm an idiot. I was gonna add a preset neuron. This button doesn't work anymore. What I'm doing here, there we go. Look at all those eyes. They don't actually have values. Okay, 1 second. There we go. Now they got types, except the first one. But no one cares about that one. So they now all have neurons for seeing bedrock. Let's try this again with the is looking at, and this should be the horribly spelled ally state. And actually, it's opponent, so this should be a drop down. I know, I gotta fix that. Opponent, we're gonna go add all there, delete the template rule, and now we've got the opponent in there. So they got a bunch of preset neurons going on, which is good. All right, so to hard reset or not to hard reset right now, because if I hard reset, they will have these new neurons. See, the thing is, we could probably add communication in here pretty soon, too. Very simple communication, but like they make a noise when they see, another one, and the other ones react and run from the noise, perhaps. So let's see what we got going on here. Oh yeah, TNT's already on this. Looking good, TNT. Let's take a look at what his neural net is. Is looking at bedrock. So he's coming up with more basic navigation stuff. He's looking at bedrock. He's looking at bedrock. Yeah. 1 sub to 1K. What? A bunch of people just sub for me while I'm streaming. Well, yeah. Wow. I'm streaming 1 sub to 1K. We're getting there. 1 sub at a time. I have no idea what I'm gonna do for my 1K sub video. I mean, I guess hide and seek. Wait, I hit 1,000? Hold on, refresh. Yes! We're there. Thank you, whoever just subbed. Woo! All right. It's a good day for me. The monetization widget still says I have 999, but whatever. I'm there. Hit 1K. Now we just gotta hit the watch hours, and I can start paying for the servers.